I am very happy today because we have wonderful news. I want to share with you a massive business loan from Breakout Capital, $1 million maximum loan approval, no credit check. Don't go anywhere. You're going to love this information. I guarantee it. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you are to ask me, if you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to share with you a humongous business loan from Breakout Capital, maximum loan amount $1 million, no credit check. That means all kinds of credits are welcome. Before I get into the actual nitty-gritty here, please understand that this video is purely instructional, informative, and educational. We have no association, no relationship with Breakout Capital. They're not paying us to do this show. We're doing this show just to educate folks out there, small business owners and entrepreneurs, all right? So let's talk about the loan facts here. So when you hear Breakout Capital, they have a bevy. They have a constellation of several business loans. So they have a business term loans, lines of credit, SBA 7A loans, equipment leasing, factoring, asset-based lending, and more. And the amount up to $1 million. And the APR starts from 1.25% per month. That is about 15% per year. The fees are variable. The term, you can look all the way to 24 months. That's the maximum. Time to funding, 1 to 3 days, and there are no extra conditions. So what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say here is that when you contact Breakout Capital, this is a business loan supermarket. They have all kinds of products for you, right? So this is kind of cool. And what we love with Breakout Capital is that you have a flexible payback schedule. So you can pay on a daily basis, weekly, or monthly. Listen, this is very important. I've been there, done that. If you're paying on a daily or weekly basis, you're not going to feel the pain, quote unquote, the pain for pain, right? But if you are paying on a monthly basis, chances are if one month is good, you're good to go. But if the next month is bad and cash is tight, this could be a problem, right? So having a flexible payback schedule is pretty cool. One thing I also want to say is that Breakout Capital they have a new product on the market called Factor Advantage. And this is where they're actually having customized lending solutions exclusively for factor clients. You want to check that out too. It's pretty cool because you can increase your over advanced max amounts. They provide short-term bridge loans. They remove MCAs, so merchant cash advances, or liens. You can use the cash to fund before receivables are ready to factor. You can actually fund transfers from bank to factor, and you can forecast cash flow challenges using AI technologies. Fantastic. This company is really innovating, and we appreciate that. I want to talk to you now. Let me just give you a synopsis of this lender. Who is Breakout Capital? Let's dig a little deeper here. So folks, before I actually talk about the company, in this show, I'm talking to you about an enormous business loan from Breakout Capital. We're talking maximum loan amount, $1 million. Okay, you might qualify for less. You might qualify for $1 million. You might qualify for 750,000 or $500,000 or 100G. It doesn't matter, but the maximum there is 1 million. What are the pros and cons of a Breakout Capital? So this is a great fit for small businesses. They have a flexible borrower qualifications. They have competitive terms and fees, and they have excellent customer support. The only drawback, in our view, is the fact that they have a high factor rates. But we believe that given the variety of loan products that they offer, it's a good investment in your business. So let's talk about. So we have analyzed this lender on tens of criteria, including loan variety, the loan amount generosity, the cost, the reputation, and the customer service. And we have assigned the company a score of 9.5 over 10. For us, this company is nearly perfect. They're doing a lot of good stuff out there. And in terms of, you can see that our evaluation was confirmed by viewers and reviewers on Trustpilot, for example, where the company earned an excellent 4.8 over 5 rating out of 136 reviews. Now, you might say that it's a small number, but guess what? The thing is that people who actually get this kind of loans are not, you don't find, it's not a loan program that you hear about every single day. So our job in this show is to enlighten business owners to know that there is funding available out there. And one thing I also want to say here is that when you think about Breakout Capital, you got to understand they've been in the business for the last 6 years, and they actually were. The company was founded by Carl Fairbank, and Carl Fairbank is a long time investment banker, so somebody who understands the arcana of investment banking, the arcana of small business funding, and we love the fact that they have a diverse range of products. For us, this was very important that they not only have a diverse range of products, but those products they're a great fit for short-term small business funding. Because the thing here is that at the end of the day, you're not looking for a loan every 5 years. Maybe you're probably looking for a loan every 2 years, maybe for your working capital or some kind of short-term funding. And this is exactly what Breakout Capital does by helping you bridge the gap from 1 month to the other, so you can actually fill the liquidity gap that you have when there is a timing issue between your receivables and your payables. I want to talk to you now about eligibility criteria. So when we talk about Breakout Capital, again, in this show, I am talking to you about a large business loan from Breakout Capital. Maximum loan amount, $1 million. I really want to repeat this because I want you to have an idea of what we're talking about. We're not going after tiny loan amounts. We're not going after teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini business loans here. We are graduating. It's about time you graduate from the small business loan amount that you are getting to something bigger, so you can expand your business. You can actually fulfill your potential. You can implement your business strategy. Okay. So the eligibility criteria for Breakout Capital, you have to be in business for at least 1 year. Minimum FICO, it oscillates between 500 and 600. There is no profitability requirements. In other words, it's not about profitability, it's about the revenue. There is a difference between profitability and revenue, right? Net income is different from revenue. They want you to have a monthly minimum revenue of $10,000. So even if you are not, I would say, generating income at the moment, but you are generating revenue, they'll work with you. Okay. And there is a one-time origination fee of that oscillates between 1% and 5%. And this is kind of cool. And what we love is that Breakout Capital, as your business grows, they will improve their funding patterns to help you. They will improve the terms of the loan. Okay, so this is why you want to establish your relationship with them from the get-go. If you want to apply for this loan that I'm talking to you about, actually it's not just one loan, it's a series of loans, it's a diverse range of loans. Whatever loans you want to apply for at Breakout Capital, make sure you speak to an account representative first. Don't just go on the internet, just don't fill the form and just send it to them. You want to engage with them, understand exactly what they have there, what kind of products they are offering, and then from there you can start a conversation. You can actually proceed to the application itself. And one thing I want to say also is that when it comes to annual revenue, the best way to demonstrate to Breakout Capital that you have sustainable annual revenue is by sharing with them your accounting software, your financials from your accounting software. It's just a lot easier. Whether you have a QuickBooks or Xero or Wave, just show that to them. It should be pretty easy. And don't forget to also have an updated business plan. Very important also. Now let me talk to you about the use of loan proceeds, because it's important to understand that Breakout Capital wants to make sure that they understand why you need the cash, right? Again, folks, in this show, I'm speaking to you right now about a giant business loan from Breakout Capital. We are talking about $1 million. That's the maximum. And there's no problem if you have bad credit, poor credit, low credit. It's not a problem. They focus exclusively on the performance of the business, including the revenue being generated on a monthly basis. So you can use the loan you can use the money that you get from Breakout Capital for a constellation of purposes. For example, you can use it for working capital. This is what I was just telling you earlier. When there is a mismatch between there is a timing mismatch between between the time you receive money from your receivables and the time you pay for your payables. You pay suppliers and all that kind of stuff. So working capital funding is pretty cool. You can get it from Breakout Capital, no problem. You can also use the money for accounts receivable risk management. This is sort of revolves around the same thing I spoke about in terms of managing your uncollectible receivables, making sure that customers are paying on time. This is usually not a problem if you have customers on payment only, but if you have customers on net 30 or net 45 or net 60, then you have a problem there that you need to manage, right? It's all about risk management, risk mitigation, risk annihilation. Okay, and you can also get the cash for hiring. You can recruit new folks. You can recruit folks and have addition to your team if you are growing. If your business is growing, and you feel like I need to invest in training, for example, I need to open new branches in the country, then yes, you can use the cash for that. You can use the money also for software and hardware upgrades or purchase. You can use the money for inventory, right? If you are paying attention to cyclicality in your industry and or seasonality for that matter, and you realize that you need cash to bridge the liquidity gaps that you have, you can use the money for it. You can use the money for expansion. You can use the money for marketing. So what I'm trying to say here is there is a wide area of purposes you can use the money that you get from Breakout Capital. No problem. They understand it. They have been doing this for the last 6 years. They really understand that small businesses need that kind of cash. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. I'm still having a conversation with you about a wonderful large business loan from Breakout Capital. We're speaking a maximum loan amount of $1 million. Okay, not 10 grand or 100 grand. We're speaking 1 million. So the evidence needed. So Breakout Capital needs a couple of documents from you. First of all, the application form, the loan application form. You can actually apply online, or you can actually speak to a rep, and then they will send you the instructions via email, or in some cases they might even mail the instructions to you if you want it that way. And as I said earlier, this is our recommended path. Because when you speak to someone at Breakout Capital, you have an idea of their requirements, you have a better idea of their expectations, and you can accelerate the whole process of applying. Okay, so make sure that you answer on the application form questions such as, why are you applying for the loan? How would the loan proceeds be used? What assets can need to be purchased, and who are your suppliers? What other business debt do you have, and who are your creditors? Who are the members of your management team? And some kind of information about the personal backgrounds of the founders. It's important for them, for example, to know what other business debt you have, because hey, listen, they want to manage their risk, the default risk, among other things. So by knowing who else has already lent to you, then they have an idea. So they also might want to have, in terms of evidence needed, resumes of the founders or the senior management, a business plan. Business plan is quintessential. I've said this over and over and over. This is very important, and you might want to submit to them your business credit report. If you have it, it's fine. If not, they'll just pull it out themselves. Okay. In some cases, on some deals, Breakout Capital wants to have income tax returns for the individuals involved in the transaction, as well as business tax returns. So your 1040 and your 1120S, 1120C, or 1065, depending on the legal structure of your business. And Breakout Capital, their specialists there, also want to have an idea of your financial statements. So you want to prepare a comprehensive set of financial statements, right? So you have balance sheet, the company's balance sheet, the company's income statements, the company's statement of cash flows, and the company's statement of stockholders' equity. Okay, it's important also. And also, just to finish, they might ask you for a bevy of legal documents. Everything from articles of incorporation or organization to franchise agreements to commercial leases to copies of contracts you have with any third parties to business licenses and registrations required for you to conduct business. Let me talk to you now about how to apply, folks. This is important. I want you to really pay attention because we are speaking here about what? We're speaking about a colossal business loan from Breakout Capital, maximum loan amount $1 million. And this is a loan where your personal credit is not important. As a matter of fact, the business's credit is not really that important either. What matters the most is the transactional history of the business at the revenue level. In other words, how much money is the revenue reckoning every how much money is the company rather reckoning every single month. Okay, so you can apply actually over the phone. You can actually you can fill out a form for pre-qual, if you will, on the website. You can fax over some information to them, the application form to them. You can email it, you can mail it in. It really depends upon you, and it depends on the arrangements you've had with the Breakout Capital representative. So I'm showing you a series of I'm going to show you 5 snapshots right now on the screen. So first, if you want to apply online, which I do not recommend, here again, I'm just showing this here for illustrative purposes. You sign up, then they will ask you for your EIN. You have to put your EIN. Then they'll ask for your business name. Then they'll ask about the legal structure. Speaking about legal structure, it's important to understand that you cannot get this loan from Breakout Capital by being a sole proprietorship. No, you got to incorporate. You have to be an LLC, a limited liability company, or an LP, or an S Corp, or a C Corp. In other words, you have to segregate your personal affairs from your business affairs, something that is impossible to do if you are a sole proprietorship. Okay, and then once you put your legal structure, you can put your address. So after inputting the address, they will ask for things like your tax return statements, your bank statements, your ID, your financial statements. So those are straightforward, right? So I'm not going to spend too much time on those. I just wanted to show you what the application process looked like, just kind of give you an idea of what you should expect. But this is what they're actually asking for. And once you have the pre-qualification or application form on their website, just send it over and call up. You can call customer service to talk to a rep. And from there, they will give you all the information. You can reach them via phone, email, or live chat. Okay, so this company, they're very accessible, very accessible. I want to talk to you now, folks. I want to give you a few pro tips. So I want to help you. So once this is a series of tips that you can use to increase your chances of being approved at Breakout Capital. Again, folks, this is important that you play the game strategically because I'm talking to you about a massive business loan from Breakout Capital. This is not, the amount is so important. You have to be focused. You have to be strategic. You have to use the step-by-step I'm giving you to make sure that you increase your chances. Okay. So $1 million maximum loan approval. So make sure that you keep your documents in order. By documents, I'm speaking about anything that relates to the loan and your business. So things like your bank statements, your tax returns, both personal and business, your financial statements, your business plan, licenses, contracts, anything that relates to the business. Please keep your documents in order. You want to also work on your credit. Even though I've said that Breakout Capital doesn't care about, quote unquote, care about your credit, either at the business level or at the personal level, it's always good practice to maintain good credit, right? Because Breakout Capital is not the only lender out there. And some lenders, if Breakout Capital doesn't care, other lenders do care. So you want to maintain a good level of credit worthiness. And you also want to demonstrate to Breakout Capital sufficient cash flow. I've talked about the fact that they pay attention a lot to your revenue, but at the end of the day, you're going to need some cash. You're going to need some ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching to pay them back. So they want to make sure that you have the kaching, the necessary cash to pay them back. So you want to pay attention to your statement of cash flows and monitor this financial statement on a monthly basis. Very important. And you also want to pay attention to a few other things. For example, you want to make sure that if you are not, if you don't qualify for this loan, you want to ask them why. Usually it's because there is a problem in the application or there's a problem with your business. But normally, if you are eligible, if you meet the eligibility requirements, like you have 10 grand revenue a month and you have been in business for at least 1 year, and then you have a minimum FICO score that oscillates between 500 and 600, you should be good to go. Again, you're not going to get the full $1 million, but you might get something around $500,000, 300,000. You know, that's pretty good too. All right, folks. Thank you so much for your attention today. I really appreciate it. I was talking to you about a humongous business loan from Breakout Capital. Maximum loan amount, $1 million. So I spoke to you. I gave you the loan facts. I gave you an overview, the loan facts. I gave you a synopsis of the lender, the eligibility criteria, the use of loan proceeds, the evidence needed, how to apply, and a few pro tips. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll see you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.